On the evening of September 2, 2015, in one of Dallas's wealthiest neighborhoods, a young pediatric dentist pulled into the parking garage of her luxury apartment complex after a normal day at work. Moments later, she would be dead. At first, investigators believed it was a robbery gone wrong. A stolen purse, a sudden confrontation, a single gunshot. But as detectives looked closer, they uncovered something far more disturbing. This was not random violence. It was a carefully orchestrated murder-for-hire plot, fueled by obsession, jealousy, and a woman who refused to let go of the past. At 35 years old, Dr. Kendra Hatcher had built a life centered around kindness and purpose. Raised in Pleasant Plains, Illinois, Kendra grew up in a close-knit Christian family. She spent much of her younger years helping others, joining mission trips, assisting with church projects, and leading Bible studies for children from low-income communities. She was intelligent, ambitious, and deeply compassionate. After attending DePauw University in Indiana, where she studied Spanish and biochemistry, Kendra earned her dental degree from the University of Kentucky College of Dentistry. In 2015, she moved to Dallas and accepted a position at SmileZone, a pediatric dental office known for helping underserved children. Friends described her as warm, optimistic, and adventurous. And around that same time, she met someone new. Through Tinder, Kendra connected with dermatologist Dr. Ricardo "Ricky" Paniagua. Ricky had relocated to Dallas years earlier after a divorce and was building a successful medical career. Before meeting Kendra, he had spent nearly 3 years in a serious relationship with a woman named Brenda Delgado. Brenda appeared hardworking and determined. Born in Mexico and raised in Dallas, she balanced multiple jobs while pursuing education in the dental field. Friends knew her as ambitious and deeply religious, but after Ricky ended their relationship, Brenda struggled to move on. Even after the breakup, she remained deeply attached to him. Then Kendra entered the picture. The relationship between Ricky and Kendra moved quickly. Friends said they were happy together and already discussing a future. The couple had even begun planning a trip to Cancun. But while Kendra looked ahead toward a new chapter in life, investigators later discovered someone else had become fixated on ending it. According to prosecutors, Brenda began obsessively monitoring Ricky's life. She tracked his whereabouts, watched his social media activity, and quietly gathered information about Kendra. Phone records and digital evidence would later reveal a troubling pattern of stalking. Over time, jealousy turned into something darker. Prosecutors said Brenda eventually recruited 2 accomplices, Christopher Love and Crystal Cortez, to help carry out a murder disguised as a robbery. Then came September 2nd. After finishing work, Kendra returned home to her apartment complex in Dallas. As she stepped out of her vehicle, a man approached. Witnesses later reported hearing demands for her purse. Then suddenly, a gunshot echoed through the garage. Kendra collapsed beside her car. She was rushed to the hospital but did not survive. At first glance, the crime scene looked like a robbery gone wrong, but detectives noticed details that did not make sense. The timing felt too precise, the attack seemed too targeted, and investigators soon uncovered evidence suggesting Kendra had been specifically followed. As surveillance footage, witness statements, and cell phone records came together, authorities uncovered what they believed was a murder plot. Crystal Cortez eventually cooperated with investigators, helping detectives piece together the events that led to Kendra's death. As police closed in, Brenda fled across the border into Mexico. In April 2016, the FBI placed her on its 10 most wanted fugitives list, making her only the 9th woman ever added. Just days later, Mexican authorities arrested Brenda Delgado in Torreon, Coahuila. She was extradited back to the United States and later stood trial for capital murder. In 2019, Brenda Delgado was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole. For Kendra Hatcher's family, the verdict brought justice, but not closure. A woman remembered for kindness, faith, and compassion had her future stolen in an act of calculated violence. What began as heartbreak after a breakup became obsession, and that obsession ended in murder.